Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Line to Gain. I'm Corey. Thanks for joining us. Oh, it is April 18th. Means we are officially 11 days out from the NFL draft. I'm excited. I hope you're excited. Um, got a good show tonight. We're going to be talking Bengals. We're going to talk Browns. We're going to talk Lions. We're talking about Justin Fields. We're going to be talking about worst case scenario for the Lions at 7. We're going to be talking about Jadeveon Clowney. What does that mean for the Browns? First and foremost, what are we drinking tonight? Well, I'll tell you. We're drinking Busch Light. Cheers. Cheers, cheers. If you're joining us, go ahead and drop a like, share the video. It really helps me out. I appreciate you for doing so. On the topic of appreciation, want to kind of go over what we were able to do last week. If you weren't able to join us last week, we had a live mock draft. It was a ton of fun. Brad, thank you for the like in the video, buddy. Welcome. 2 weeks in a row, Mr. Spettle. Appreciate you, buddy. So we had a live mock draft. It was a lot of fun. We had people that were able to make picks for their favorite teams, and Brad with the share and the like. There you go, Brad. Be rad, my little showing love. So yeah, people making picks for their favorite teams, and we were also raising money for the Epilepsy Foundation, which as a group we were able to raise almost $400, $390 as a crew. I posted the donation there on the Facebook page. So was kind of talking with everybody a little bit after the show, and I think we're definitely going to have to do another fundraising event, another kind of charity style fundraising event where most of the money just goes directly to a charity. Couple that were kicked around. Wounded Warriors was one. Joe Burrow's, it's like a food pantry foundation for Southeast Ohio. That was another one that we kicked around a little bit. So be thinking about that. And I don't anticipate the next one just being the only one. So I'd like to be able to continue to do this. I just do this for fun. So if we can cover costs and give back to somebody in the process, that's fantastic in my opinion. So Jadeveon Clowney is now a Cleveland Brown, and you would have thought that they got J.J. Watt from the reaction of a lot of Browns fans. I'm sorry, I'm going to fix this light. This is really bothering me. 1 second. All right. Sorry, that shadow is really bothering me. Anyway, you would have thought that they had signed J.J. Watt onto the Cleveland Browns. Like they've completely revitalized the entire defense. I posted on the page that this really means nothing for me individually. As a Bengals fan, I'm not really that worried about Jadeveon Clowney, and I'll tell you why. I have statistics to support why I'm not worried about Jadeveon Clowney. Todd, got y'all. Thank you for liking the video, buddy. Welcome. Good to have you back, man. Let me go over this. Some statistics as to why I have no fear about Jadeveon Clowney twice a year. So Jadeveon Clowney has played against the Bengals through various teams, mostly the Texans, also the Titans and Seahawks, I believe. 5 total football games. He has registered 10 sacks. I'm boosting him up here. He has registered 10 tackles, 2 sacks, and I think a forced fumble. That's it. So you're telling me that every game I have to worry about 2 tackles and maybe half a sack? That's what I have to worry about from Jadeveon Clowney? That's it? Yeah, I'm not worried about it at all. Doesn't scare me. There's a reason Jadeveon Clowney just now signed, guys. Let's be very clear about that. There's a reason he just now signed. It's because the name is bigger than the game. Jadeveon Clowney made a really, really, really cool play back in college. If you guys don't remember, uh, broke right into the backfield against, I think it was Michigan. He was on South Carolina, obviously. Broke right through the line, tackles a guy. I think helmet pops off, just absolutely blew him apart. Jadeveon Clowney was a household name ever since then. Hasn't really. That was kind of his peak, to be honest with you. Like, he's been okay in the NFL. He's still working, right? He still has a job. But I mean, nowhere even near the top echelon of pass rushers, in my opinion. So the name is bigger than the game. He wants more money than teams are willing to give him. This is why it's the second season in a row. Now you could throw maybe COVID had something to do with that. Obviously, teams are less willing to just bring somebody in, but other guys are getting signed. Other guys are getting signed in the early parts of free agency to big contracts. And now I want to talk about that, Jadeveon's contract, because it's not Browns friendly. There are incentives, but what I mean by that is, there are incentives. A lot of times, teams, let's say you hear that someone signs just to make figures easy, and it actually works in this case, a $10 million deal. A lot of the times, a signing bonus is, we'll call it $2 million, and the salary is actually $3 million. So $5 million of that is guaranteed. That other five is only contingent upon certain incentives. How much, how many sacks he gets. Does he play every game? Is he available to play every game? It's called a roster bonus. You'll see those a lot. So the guaranteed money, the immediate cap hit really only comes down to that $5 million. So it's a $5 million guaranteed. Looks like a $10 million contract. It's not. This one, I'm going to pull it up just so I'm not speaking out of turn. John with the comment here, I agree. Clowney's fame was the viral college hit. Totally sick hit, though. People should look at it. Absolutely, people should look it up. John, if you want to post the link in the chat so people can check it out, that would be great. But if you're not able to, don't worry about it. I'll post it. I can post it later tonight. It is an absolutely insane hit if you haven't seen it. It's an old one, though. I mean, Clowney's been in the league for, 8 years now? I think that was his senior year. So, that's got to be like a 9-year-old hit. But nonetheless, still one of the coolest tackles in college football. Let's see here. I'm pulling up the Browns contract with Jadeveon. I think it's a 1-year deal, and I think it is $10 million. So you're going to break down right here. So it's $8 million guaranteed, $2 million in incentives. So it is the ability to be a $10 million deal. Basically, yeah, $2.5 million signing bonus, or excuse me, $900,000 signing bonus, $2.5 million base salary. Okay, so this contract is not as horrible as I thought it was going to be. And the reason for that is he's actually only a $3.8 million cap hit with $2 million in incentives. So worst case scenario, the Browns would be paying $5.8 million this year for Jadeveon Clowney. And then there are 4 voidable years of the contract, which means if they want to re-sign Jadeveon, they can, and they can pay him $900,000 next year. But they can also walk away with it walk away from the contract unscathed. That's my interpretation of what a voidable year is. If somebody else knows it to be something else, please drop it in the chat. But that's my interpretation of what a voidable year is. Essentially, the Browns can extend the contract. He won't be a free agent. They can extend the contract if they choose to do so. But those years are voidable from the team's perspective, and they can just completely walk away from the deal. So actually, I was going to say, the point that I was going to make before I put my foot in my mouth was that I would think that you could get Jadeveon Clowney for 2 years for $10 million. And that's pretty much what they did, right? They have him for a total of 5.7, I think it was, 5.8 this year, with the option to get him for, damn near another $1 million next year. So the deal that they actually have on the table is actually pretty good. Another thing that works in the Browns' favor for this deal is that they aren't tied to edge rusher at 26 now. So that helps them out a lot. The way our mock draft worked, and Chris Stewart, who made the pick, there's Lola. Where am I at? There's Lola. Say hi to Lola. She is a show cat. Um, sorry. So Chris, when he made the pick, and he took, I believe it was the Katie. Yeah, there's Lola making an appearance. She's always got to make an appearance. She thinks she's so important. Um, wow, lost my train of thought. Anyway, so when Chris made the pick, he took an edge rusher out of Miami. And he was saying, like, no, the Browns would basically be seeing stars at this point, meaning, they had all of the options laid out in front of them that they could have, taken a myriad of different players. They landed with the edge rusher there. Now what this does is they basically have their starting on the other side. They have their other edge rusher there solidified with Clowney, and then obviously Myles Garrett on the other side. They can go elsewhere. They can go linebacker, maybe. I'm thinking corner kind of works out really well in this draft. There's a lot of good prospects that are going to be available in that 26 range, which is also something that we talked about last week, in that the Browns are in a good spot based on their needs. There's going to potentially be a pretty good defensive player that's going to shift all the way down to 26 and be there for them to take and kind of bolster that defense. And they need it. The Browns definitely need it. So I thought, it's a good signing. I don't want to convey that message that I think that this signing for Jadeveon is a poor choice by the Browns by any means, because it's not. But the point I was trying to make is that from my perspective, as somebody that faces the Browns twice a year, I'm not like pissing in my pants that Jadeveon Clowney is going to be there twice a week. He's okay. Like Jonah Williams held his own against Myles Garrett. Bobby Hart, on the other hand, did not. Bobby Hart is gone, though, from the Bengals. But if Jonah Williams can hold his own against Myles Garrett, I feel pretty confident that he can do so against Jadeveon Clowney as well. So, my PC just came up and said that it needs to be restarted, so I hope it doesn't do it midstream. That would be unfortunate. All right, so we posted a little blog from the SB Nation account for the Lions, and it was talking about worst case scenario at 7. What would be the worst case scenario at 7? Sorry, I did my part today, boys and girls. Step 1 complete. Arms a little sore. No side effects. We're good. Just a little sore. Trying to move it around. Keep it fresh. But it's talking about worst case scenario for the Lions. What being at 7, there are a few options that could be presented to them. And basically the 3 options are offensive line, Penei Sewell, potentially a wide receiver, one of the top wide receiver prospects, whether that be Chase, whether that be Pitts, Waddle, Smith, or Micah Parsons, linebacker, Penn State. And the point that this article is trying to make is that the worst case scenario for the Lions would be to take Micah Parsons at 7, which is who John took in our mock draft. So, John, I don't know if you took offense to that. I would have. I did, because I think that's a good pick. I think Micah Parsons is a good pick. Are there other good picks? Yes. But Jesus, do the Lions need help on defense? And is he an athlete? Absolutely. He's actually a very, very, very athletic man. And we've talked about it before. One of my favorite styles of building a defense is just go get athletes. You know what I mean? For years, I think the Lions are kind of in this boat. They haven't had like a good middle linebacker since like Obama. It's been a while, man. It's been a while since the Lions have had a solid like middle linebacker, or anybody in that in that linebacking core. And the Bengals are kind of in that situation too. They've had a lot of instances where like tight ends that are not Kyle Pitts or Travis Kelsey or go on Zach Ertz or George Kittle, tight ends that are not on that caliber look really good. They look really good against the Bengals because they're for so long their linebacking core was just not fast enough to play pass coverage. The Bengals' defensive philosophy was we're gonna make you throw it, we're gonna make you stop, we're gonna stop the run. All right, you will not run on us, and you won't beat us deep. And teams would just say, well, okay, we'll just chuck it underneath, right? Tight ends, great there. Hines Ward, Bengal killer. Because his routes weren't deep routes, they were the underneath routes. He'd go over the middle. He wasn't scared of doing that. That's why they were successful. It's because the Bengals didn't have athletic linebackers. The Lions are kind of in that boat too. And so for that reason, worst case scenario at 7, Micah Parsons is the worst case scenario. Maybe they're trying to say that that's not that bad because I don't think that's that bad. Micah Parsons at 7. Then the argument they were trying to make is that like I'm okay with a linebacker. I'm not okay with a linebacker at 7, and I can appreciate that argument. I can, just like you don't take a corner at 3, which they did last year. and it kind of what it really comes down to is what's your strategy this year, Lions? Like, what do you want to do? Do you want to suck? Or do you want to be kind of middle of the road in QB purgatory? Or do you want to kind of just draft, see what Goff can do, and then kind of reassess next year? I don't know, man. I I'm not really understanding the whole Goff thing unless you're taking a quarterback this year, unless you're just going to try and suck because I feel like you're hitching your wagon to like a still an okay quarterback. You know what I mean? Jared Goff, we thought he was going to be really, really good first couple of years. It has since tapered down. And a lot of that, I think, has to do with the fact of the running game that the Rams used to have with Gurley when he was what we knew Todd Gurley to be, a prolific running back, one of the best in the league at the time. And when that running game kind of went down, our defenses kind of figured it out, probably a mixture of both, Gurley being hurt a lot, you kind of saw Goff regress. And I don't think the Lions necessarily have a very strong running game by any means. It's Swift. It's carry on if he's on the field ever. And then you're pretty much looking at what, AP? Is AP coming back? I mean, I'm sure he's coming back, but like, what are you going to get out of 70-year-old Adrian Peterson? He's probably still your best running back, though, to be honest with you. Adrian Peterson is probably still competing for that one if I'm just being serious. Comment from John here. Little offended. Their last good linebacker was Steven Tulloch. Trust new GM with whoever he takes. That's bold, John. You just get cheated on and then you just forget, you're ready to love again, aren't you? Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia, they fucked you over, but John, you're ready to love again, and you're just open your arms to, is it Holmes and I can't remember the GM. I can't remember who they are now. It's Holmes and Dan Campbell. There we go. Campbell and Holmes, you just open arms, bringing it in, ready to love again, aren't you, Johnny? Trust the new GM with whatever he takes, but I'm not just sold on a wide receiver being a game-changing offensive piece. This is coming from a guy who loved everything Calvin Johnson brought to the team. I'm 100% okay taking Sewell too. Gotta win in the trenches. And I agree. And I agree that need to. I know some people have made their points known to me on Twitter, Travis, about how the Bengals are just stupid, basically, if they don't take Sewell. But the Lions had a decent offensive line last year. It's like middle of the road, if I'm not mistaken. At least in one of the running or passing categories. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I did look into it. Flume, watching the video. What's up, bud? Man, Nathan Flume. Look at this guy. He's defeated homelessness. He's got it. He's married. He's in a house now. Look at this guy. I'm just kidding. Homelessness is not a joke. It's an inside joke. Oh, I'm an idiot. Love you, Flume. Thank you for dropping by. Sorry. Yeah, Lions offensive line, middle of the road. Not that bad. That's for, I get like Sewell is good, and he's probably one of the best offensive line prospects that's been around for a while. But do you like who's your number one wide receiver right now, Lions? Who's your number one? I don't know. I just named the coach and the GM, and I don't know who your number one wide receiver is. I have no idea. So if you get the opportunity to take like Waddle or Smith, I could understand that. Or Kyle Pitts even, because he's not a tight end. I know there's a lot of reservations about the Lions taking another tight end this early in the draft because you got Pettigrew, you've got Eric Ebron, you've got TJ Hawkinson. Those are all top 10 tight end draft picks. And similarly with a corner, when you're drafting a corner that high in the draft, like they did Jeffrey Okudah, he better be Jalen Ramsey. He better be Deion Sanders. He better be go on. Patrick Peterson, back when in his heyday. So I'm just saying, like, if you're taking those guys that high, they better be that good. Similarly with a tight end, he better be that good. Now, Kyle Pitts, I don't necessarily think that Kyle Pitts is really just a pure tight end. He got a lot better at blocking last year. As a Florida fan, I got to watch Kyle Pitts a lot, and his blocking improved immensely on run blocking last year. So in that regard, he has improved for a true tight end sense, but he's a vertical threat. He's a passing game attack weapon, and if you're using him in any other way, you're misusing Kyle Pitts. So I would classify him more as a blocking wide receiver, I guess, than a tight end. He reminds me of DK Metcalf. Does anybody else feel that way? I think it's just because he's just built like a brick shit house and he runs like a freight train. He reminds me of DK Metcalf a lot. I know you guys remember that Cardinals, Seahawks, what was it, like a Thursday night game? Russell Wilson throws an interception, and DK Metcalf runs him down from like 80 yards. He just reminds me of Kyle Pitts in terms of top line speed. So what do I think the worst case scenario for the Lions at 7 would be? In my opinion, the worst case scenario for the Lions would be they find a trade partner in the 20s. They trade back to the 20s for like a second next year and a third this year or something like that. And then they get like, I don't know, a corner or something. That's worst case scenario. Something stupid is worst case scenario. That's my opinion. So at 7, if you're the Lions, I almost think if you're a fan, you kind of just want them to stay there because you know you're going to get like somebody pretty good. And I don't think Parsons is that bad at 7. I don't think he's that bad in general. But if you trade back, you're kind of rolling the dice, in my opinion. It depends on how far you're going back. But if you're trading back into like the 20s, you're rolling the dice there, man. I don't know if I would mess with that. But if you're a Lions fan, you kind of want them just let's just stay there at 7, guys. And let's just get somebody that we know is good. Because you're not wrong with Sewell. He's going to be good. You know what I mean? You could be building a foundational, like, prolific offensive line going forward for whomever your guy is going to be. And by guy, I mean quarterback. Because it's not fucking Jared Goff. So You take Sewell, you're fine. You take Pitts, you're fine. If it's not going to be Jamar Chase, he's not going to be there. But Waddle, Smith, I'd almost go more Rashad Bateman out of Minnesota. But just my 2 cents. I think it's a bit of an overreaction to say that's the worst case scenario. We've all seen worse. So thank you guys for coming in, joining me. If you're just dropping by, go ahead and drop a like on the video. If you feel even so much more inclined, go ahead and share the video as well. That would be fantastic. Much appreciated. Helps me out. Helps grow the community. Look forward to maintaining those viewers. I mean, at one point we had 10 people at one time watching the video. Man, that was pretty fun. Normally we're right around that like 4 to 7 range. We had 10 people at once. That was a lot of fun. Like to keep growing this community. We got the Line to Gain family, man. Busch lattes tonight, per the title of the show. Another thing that the Lions mention, and the reason why I say the worst case scenario, is because they just fucking advertised that they're ready to trade back. Which, cool, that's great. Who isn't? Who isn't ready to trade back in the NFL draft? That's what I want to know. Other than if you're not taking a quarterback in like the top 5, who isn't looking to trade back? If you're not, or a quarterback needy team in general, right? Because then, like Patriots probably trying to trade up. Broncos probably trying to trade up. If you're not a quarterback needy team, who isn't trying to trade back? It's just a matter of you need somebody else to trade with you. That's the thing. Is somebody else willing to give you that number or the amount of assets that you would require to move back? More often than not, no. They're not. They're not willing to do that. So in the Lions, the thing about me is like, so let's say I'm the Patriots and I'm hearing that the Lions are wanting to trade back. My head is thinking, okay, well, they're probably willing to let that go cheaper than they would have had they not told me that they were willing to trade back. So I'm going to lowball them. I'm going to come in with a lower offer because they want to get that pick out. They want to, sell that pick for more picks. So I'm going to lowball it. Yeah, I'm going to have to give up some picks to do it, but it might be a lower number than what I would have had I initiated the request for that trade. Does that make sense? Negotiation tactics. Lions generally aren't very good at it. Like last year, they should have told everyone that they were trading Matthew Stafford, or they were shopping for Matthew Stafford. Even if they weren't. They should have told everyone that they were doing it. Why? Why would you do that? Because you're sitting with the 3rd overall pick. The Dolphins are in front of you. But you're sitting with the 3rd overall pick. Now everyone thinks you're taking a quarterback. And now that 3rd pick becomes a lot more valuable. If the Chargers knew or felt like you might have taken Justin Herbert at 3rd overall, do you think the Chargers might have called and offered you something pretty sexy to get out of that 3rd pick? Maybe. Maybe they didn't. Maybe the phone doesn't even ring. And then you still take Jeffrey Okudah at 3rd. But the point is, you float it out there. You do something to try. Make that value of that pick go up. And it's only as valuable as what someone's willing to pay you for it. Just like anything, right? It's only as valuable as what somebody's willing to pay you for it. And if they don't think you're taking a quarterback, it's not fucking valuable. It has no value because you're not a threat to what they want to do. It's as simple as that. We are cruising along. So I want to see if I can pull up something for you guys and show it off because I don't know if you heard, but the Bengals are getting new uniforms. The Bengals are getting new uniforms in less than 12 hours, actually. So what I want to do to show you some mocks from some sources that I trust as to what they are apparently going to look like. So I'm going to pull up Twitter here. And we're going to take a look at some mocks. And I want to see what you guys have to think. And talk about them a little bit. I think they're pretty cool. When I first saw them, I was not too excited. Because the way they were presented was a leaked photo of a wrinkly jersey on a hanger that was crooked. It looked like crap. But they have since taken what that jersey looks like and like superimposed it on players, and it looks really sharp. What they've advertised is that the shirts are going to be clean, they're going to be modern, they're much simpler, less busy, all those sorts of things. And the mock-ups that I've seen in relation to that leak photo, they look pretty good. I mean, for all I know, they could be completely different. Come tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock when the Bengals are doing like a web stream and showing off all the new jerseys, and they're going to be available for sale down at the Pro Shop at Paul Brown Stadium tomorrow. Hopefully online as well. I'm looking to get a Joe Burrow jersey. There were rumors that they were going to come out. Like last season, they had said that they were going to come out this season, so I didn't bother buying a Joe Burrow jersey. But cool. So let me share the screen with you guys so you can check it out. So here's the jerseys. This is what we're thinking. As you can see, they did away with any kind of like. And this is via Joe Goodberry. Joe Goodberry. If you don't already follow him on Twitter, if you're a Bengals fan, go ahead and follow him. Actually, if you're a Bengals fan, if you are a like Marvel or like Mandalorian or like Pokemon, he does a bunch of pop culture stuff as well, other than just the Bengals. So pretty cool. Anyway, so I think they're pretty clean. Obviously, a lot simpler with the block number here. Stripes. And the other news, obviously the helmet is not changing. They announced that they aren't going to touch the helmet. We just don't know what the pants are going to look like pretty much. So these are just his interpretation of what they'll look like. I'm not a big fan of the orange stripes here with the black stripes up here. I don't really like that. I would rather have black stripes right there. So I would love for it to be all orange with black striping. I'm not a big fan of the different colored stripes. Obviously the matching with the helmet, but once you get down here, it's kind of messy in my opinion. The one thing they did announce is that these are now the home jerseys. The Bengals will not have black home jerseys. Their primary jerseys will be orange. And they are going to be a little bit darker orange, so they're not that annoying like highlighter color orange that they had for the last 17 years. Which, by the way, this 17-year stint of these uniforms is the longest stint of any stint for the Bengals uniforms. I just said stint a lot, didn't I? Sorry about that. But this is the longest time frame that they've ever had a single uniform. Didn't know that. Here's the white ones. These are going to be their away uniforms. These are sexy. These are dope. I love these. These are super clean, super neat. I love the orange Bengals there. I like the orange outline. I would like to see maybe some orange outline on the stripes. That would be kind of cool. Just a little bit more orange. I think these look sick, man. Super clean. I don't know if anybody else, but you sometimes on Twitter you'll see like they'll redo the helmets to where the primary color is white with black stripes, like an all white Bengal tiger kind of look. Super sweet. Absolutely clean. Just all white and black. I think those look awesome. White Bengal tiger. And these are going to be the alternates. And I think these are pretty cool too, man. These are pretty slick. So you see you get the orange with the orange stripes down here. I like when those all match up. It is a little weird, but these are very, very similar, in my opinion, just from like the black with the orange look as to what they had when I was a kid before they went to the jerseys that they have now. The Leaping Bengal Tiger era, as they call it. I think these are really cool. So these are going to be their alternates. These are going to be their alternate uniforms that they'll wear, 2, 3 times a year max. Like I said, the orange ones are going to be the primaries. So let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts on the new Bengals uniforms. How do you feel? All right, let's see. We got some comments rolling in here. Todd, I'd like to see them wear an all orange color as a home uniform. Yeah, if they went orange jerseys, orange pants, orange helmets, I think that would be sick. And matching the stripes. You got to match the stripes. If you got black stripes on the jersey, you need to have black stripes on the pants. You got black stripes on the helmet, so on and so forth. But if you got orange stripes on the jersey, you need to have orange stripes on the pants. You got to link those up. Come on, guys. Come on. See who else we got here. Said the same thing at the same time. There you go. Great minds, Todd. It's our upbringing. Come from similar walks here. Mama says Christopher and Kate here. Oh, hey, Christopher and Kate from Charlotte. Thanks for tuning in. Wish I was down there with you guys. We are gonna have to plan a trip. Been checking flights. There's like Detroit to Charlotte is like it's just hub to hub. I think Charlotte's a Delta hub, so it's like $150. Got to get down there, see the new baby, see Macy. Drop a like, share the video, helps me out. Appreciate and love you guys. So yeah, let me know what you think of the Todd's chiming in on the jerseys, on the new uniforms. They're dropping tomorrow at 9:00, so super excited about that. Looking forward to getting a new Bengals jersey too. The last jersey that I have, like an official Bengals jersey, is Tory James. Yep, number 20. Talk about throwback. What's the oldest jersey that you have? Because that's the oldest jersey. I shouldn't say that. I had a Ray Malaluga jersey and a Carlos Dunlap jersey. My Carlos Dunlap jersey was like straight out of China, though. This was not authentic. This was not real in any way. I had a Ray Malaluga. And Tory James. Those are my 2 official jerseys. What is your oldest jersey of, like, if you're a Lions fan? What's your oldest Lions jersey? If you're a Colts fan, what is the oldest jersey that you currently have? I'm interested to hear if we get some good ones. So, talked about the Lions draft, talked about the Browns draft. I am here to set the record straight for the Bengals draft. I'm going to tell you right now, they are taking Jamar Chase, number 5. It's going to happen. And it's the right pick. It is the right pick, ladies and gentlemen. And I am about to explain to you why. There's so many people that are absolutely in the mindset that if they don't take Penei Sewell at 5, they're a bad organization, or they don't know what they're doing, and it's stupid. I'm going to explain to you why that is the right move here in just a moment. As I pull up this reference, actually, it's another Joe Goodberry reference. He's basically just, I'm just here to regurgitate things that he says, apparently. Bear with me. So, who are the current Bengals wide receivers? Okay, so we've got AJ Green. Oh wait, no, we don't. We've got Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins are their top 2 wide receivers. Guess who their number 3 is? It's Auden Tate. Then you ask yourself, how many times do the Bengals run 3 wide receiver sets? Meaning, they line up on the field, their formation has 3 wide receivers in it. There's 3 guys ready to catch passes that aren't a tight end or a running back. 3 wide out sets. 80% of the time. That is top in the league. It's not even close. The Bengals line it up wide most of the time. And there's a couple reasons for that. One, when you have a rookie quarterback, you spread out the defense. It allows him to read the defense quicker, more easily. You can see what they're doing. The defense kind of has to show their hand at that point, right? You're lining up at least 3. Maybe there's a tight end or maybe a running back's in the backfield and he splits out. Now you got 5 people wide. They run empty sets a lot too. But they're running at least 3 wide receivers 5% of the time. Because the more people that you put out there, the more you have to spread out the defense. It allows the rookie quarterback to look out there, see what's going on, make his read off of what he sees pre-snap, hikes the ball. Obviously, people are moving. He's reading. Okay, 1, no, 2, yep, throw. And he needs to do that in about 3 seconds. Anything over 3 seconds, you're looking at a sack, more often than not, in the NFL. So, the Bengals run a 3 wide set 80% of the time. Now, if you're a Bengals fan, let me ask you, are you comfortable with Auden Tate being out there 80% of the time? I'm not. He's okay. He's a good depth guy for their wide receiver core. But is he a guy that I want on 80% of snaps? No, I don't. Here's another thing. Tyler Boyd is very good at wide receiver. T. Higgins is showing a lot of promise out of his rookie year. Are either of those guys outside threats that you can hang your hat on as a number 1 X receiver? So X is, wide receivers go X, Y, and Z, right? Your 3 wide receivers. X is your primary, your number 1, typically on the outside, right? Depending on the formation, there are weird ones where it's not, but typically X is on the outside, your primary. Tyler Boyd is a slot receiver. He's racked up over 1,000. And that's not a discredit to him, by the way. I want to make that very clear. Being a slot receiver is not a knock. There are some slot receivers that are the best receiver on their team, but he's more productive in the slot. Okay, moving on. T. Higgins, fast, promising. Is he a number 1 for your team? No. He's not a primary outside threat yet. Could get there. Not there yet. Jamar Chase can be that. He will be that. He will walk into that room and be the number 1. That's just the way it's going to happen. He's that good, ladies and gentlemen. He is that good. Just saying. Comment from John real quick back to the jersey, then I need a refill. I had a 94-95 Barry Sanders jersey as a Halloween costume. I think my mom still got it. Now, John, if I'm not mistaken, you also own a Tim Tebow Jets jersey. Am I wrong? I had a photo of John, 2013, 2012. John went as Tim Tebow for Halloween. It's beautiful. He went and kneeled everywhere. You might get thrown out of some dive bars. You go around kneeling. Now, John, you better watch that. Some folks don't take kindly to kneeling. Mom with a comment. Own a Takeo Spikes jersey signed by 6 Bengals at Montgomery Inn after the game. I remember that. That was awesome. Takeo Spikes, first of all, is awesome. And we were sitting around at Montgomery Inn after a Bengals game. I didn't go to the Bengals game at that time. I think it was my mom and my stepdad and maybe some of their friends went. And we're just sitting around and look over. And I think it was Hoosh. If I'm not mistaken, it was Hoosh Manzada. Maybe I'm wrong. And a couple other Bengals players were just sitting up there having dinner at Montgomery Inn. Took the jersey up. 6 of them signed it. It's pretty cool. So yeah, that's a good one. Thank you for that comment. Appreciate it. That's what I want to hear. That's why I want to get some stories going. So if you have any your older jerseys, let me know. John, think you donated that Jets jersey? That's pretty good. Well, I get it. So to surmise, the Bengals need a wide receiver, guys. Yes, they do need an offensive line. They need offensive line help. They need it badly. But they also need a wide receiver very badly. And I'm going to tell you right when I get back, my fridge is right there. You know how close it is. You've seen the show. When I get right back, we're going to talk about why it's okay to pass on O-line in the first round. Right. All right. Like I said, quick. So, Busch. All right. So we did a mock draft the other day, and we used PFF, so Pro Football Focus, and it uses different algorithms to predict, what teams are going to take other players and stuff like that. And that's important because, different sites. There are other mock draft. There are other mock draft sites that you can utilize, and I'm sure their algorithms are similar but a little bit different. So if you're curious as to, and that's important when you're looking at like round 2, or if you're picking later in the first round, because you want to know what does the computer say is going to be available for my team at 38 for the Bengals. Lions, quick math, 30. Were the Lions at 41, somewhere in that range? So you want to know, who's going to be available. And these different, if you're utilizing different sources, maybe you're getting a better sample, right? You're getting a better understanding as to who's going to be available to you in round 2. And that's important for the Bengals here because, especially if you're going to pass on offensive line, you want to have an idea as to who you think is going to be available to address the offensive line because you need to address it. Let's be very clear. You can't not address it in this draft. First one was PFF, the one that we utilized. Again, this was a mock draft done by the guy that I just showed you, Joe Goodberry. Dylan Ordunez, tackle, North Dakota State. Alex Leatherwood, tackle, Alabama. Landon Dickerson, center, Alabama. Quinn Mearnez, center, Wisconsin. Liam Eichenberg, tackle, Notre Dame. There are at least 3 guys on that list that I would be comfortable taking at 38. First of which would be Leatherwood. I'd want Alex Leatherwood at 38 if he's available. The second of which would be Eichenberg. Very, very good record at Notre Dame. Maybe 2 pressures in the last 2 years that he let up. I don't think he gave up a sack. And Dylan Ordunez out of North Dakota State. Don't know a lot about him, hearing a lot of buzz about him, and I'm guilty of just following into that. So, but that's why he's third on my list of top 3. The reason why center is I'm not really huge on center. I guess you could slide him out and play guard. I think we're going to probably be riding the Billy Price train. Now, if you get a center here, you could argue that you're going to take that center, you're going to plug in a rookie center, which is kind of risky sometimes. You're going to plug in that rookie center, and then you're going to shift Billy or Trey out to guard. Trey Hopkins recovering from, I think it was an ACL injury, knee injury. He'll be back, I think, mid to early season. So, Rick Eba with the like. What's up, Jerry? Professor Jerry joining us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Rick, you got school in the morning, man. You gotta get some sleep, So, the point being, in this particular mock draft, the starting quality offensive lineman, let me be very clear. If we took Alex Leatherwood, Liam Eichenberg, or Dylan Ordunez in the second round, they would start at guard for us. Us being the Bengals. They would. Because we're that bad. Okay? Let me just be very clear about that. Starting talent in this mock. Now we're looking at, who is this one? Sorry, let me. Oh, Draft Network. Draft Network at 38. Who are the offensive linemen available? Looks pretty similar. Leatherwood, Eichenberg, Rodunez. Then you get Creed Humphrey, Wyatt Davis, and Jalen Mayfield. Now, Jalen Mayfield is intriguing to me because he's also an offensive tackle. However, there are opinions that he is athletic enough, maybe not big enough, but he's fast enough that it would make sense to move him inside. Now, why is that important? Because Jonah Williams is going to be the left tackle for the Bengals this year, and probably for the next decade if that pans out correctly. Hopefully. Well, let's just say 5 years. Let's just say 5 years. Riley Reef. Riley Reef. Is that his name? Riley Reef is going to be the tackle for the right tackle for the Bengals. Yeah, Great Barrier Reef. That was the hashtag going around. Riley Reef is going to be the right tackle for the Bengals. So you're not drafting somebody to play tackle this year. That's not happening. You don't go out and sign this guy, tell him he's going to play right tackle, and then move him to the inside. So it's not going to happen. So they're going to draft this. The next person they're going to draft is going to play guard. That's where your next need is guard. The Bengals don't have. I don't know that they necessarily even have a starting left guard right now on the roster. So, I'm not drafting Penei Sewell at 5 to kick him into guard, first of all. Second of all, the harvest is bountiful at 38, according to the first two. Now, the third one is the NFL Draft Network, and here's who's available there. Landon Dickerson, Creed Humphrey, Wyatt Davis, Jalen Mayfield, Liam Eichenberg. Guys, come on. Are we really going to sit here and say that Penei Sewell is that good that we have to pass on the best wide receiver prospect, which is a need? Wide receiver is a need. The Bengals need a wide receiver badly. Okay? They need a wide receiver that can get separation, that can win the jump ball, that runs good routes. They thought AJ might be able to do it last year. Well, guess what? He didn't. And he wasn't good. I love AJ Green. He was not good. So we're saying that Penei Sewell is that good that we can pass on that kind of quality wide receiver and then hope that one is there in round 2 or round 3? Is that what we're saying? That doesn't make sense to me, guys. Not at all. I've talked about it a few times. When you're in the position like a top 5 or even a top 10 pick, you have a rare ability to address both best player available and a need. When you can do that and then still kind of do that in round 2, that's pretty crazy. Now, the counterpoint that I've also heard on this is that, well, the wide receiver class is pretty deep. It's not as deep as the tackle class or the offensive line in general class. It's just not. You're not going to sit there and tell me that there's going to be 4 starting wide receivers available at 38. I don't think so. If I'm wrong, we'll find out 11 days from now. We'll find out. But there's not going to be 4 starting wide receivers at 38, guys. It doesn't happen. Now, that's not to say that, 2 years from now, we're going to be looking at, some guy that was taken in the 3rd round and he's just a stud. I can't remember where Justin Jefferson went last year. We'll look it up real quick. Justin Jefferson draft. Okay, he went pick 22. All right. There. He was number 22 overall. And that was like a late steal, according to a lot of draft experts. Justin Jefferson at 22 was a steal. You're going to tell me that there's a Justin Jefferson at 38? Come on. Nah. That ain't me. I'm taking Jamar Chase, and then I'm hopefully getting Alex Leatherwood at 38. And then when it comes to round our third pick, I can't remember. We might have 2 third rounders. I can't remember off the top of my head. But when it comes to our third pick, it needs to either be edge rusher or another offensive lineman. Best player available out of those 2 categories. That's what needs to happen. So, and to be honest with you, if like one of those stud pass rushers drops to 38, I'm okay with him taking them there too. So long as the next 2 picks are offensive linemen, or maybe we're trading back up into the second round to get another offensive lineman. I don't know. I'm okay with that too, because we need a pass rusher too, guys. There's a lot of holes on the offensive line. And having a lot of weapons, I'm going to let you on a secret. Having a lot of weapons available to your young quarterback helps him get the ball out quicker, meaning that the pass rush coming against him is a lot less effective. It makes your like below par offensive line look okay. And that you saw that. Like we saw that, Bengals fans, at the end of last year. At the end of Joe Burrow's time before he got hurt, you kind of started thinking like, man, like they're not really getting to Joe. Well, what was happening is Joe is figuring out these defenses. He was getting quicker. His time clock was getting to the NFL level, and he's throwing the ball out before these guys can get to him. Well, he made the offensive line look better. That's what happened. They didn't play better. He made them look better. So, the argument that Joe Burrow got hurt because of a bad offensive line. Joe Burrow threw the ball and then got hit. Let me just be very clear about that. Was the offensive line good? No, they weren't good. Duh. But did Joe Burrow get hurt because they are bad? No. I'm okay with saying that. I'll stand on that hill. He didn't get hurt because they were bad. He threw the ball, and a guy rolled onto his leg. There's going to be pressure in the NFL on almost every play. Like rarely does a quarterback not get touched in some capacity when he's throwing the football, unless it's like a rollout. It doesn't happen. It's rare, guys. He's going to get a hit on the shoulder, or he's going to get taken to the ground. Something's going to happen. It's just there's not really super clean pockets in the NFL today. It just doesn't work that way. So there's been a pretty prevalent guy on Twitter. His name is Malik Wright. Wright Report, I think, is his Twitter handle. I'll pull it up for you guys. If you don't follow him as a Bengals fan, you should. The reason is because I'm about to tell you right now. It's at Wright with a W, Report with 2 T's. The reason why you should follow him is because he called a lot of the free agent signings before they happened. I think calling them meaning he has a source that he's getting this information. Calling a lot of the free agent signings before they're happening. And he has come out and said that the Bengals will be drafting Jamar Chase at number 5. They know that. Obviously, if something crazy happens and a trade happens and somebody goes up and grabs Jamar Chase, they're not going to be able to. Basically, is if Jamar Chase is available at 5, he's going to be a Cincinnati Bengal. So that obviously boosts my confidence in that. And I had a dream last night that they drafted Jamar Chase. I don't know. I'm excited about it. So I'm dreaming about it. I'd like a Jamar Chase jersey. Probably going to wear 1. I don't know. What do you think? That's what he wore in college. He was number 1. It'd be pretty cool. But Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase back together. The Bengals just signed Thaddeus Moss, who was Joe Burrow's tight end. In college. So Thaddeus Moss, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow getting back together. Maybe is Randy Moss going to be in the stands for a Bengals game? I don't know. That'd be pretty cool. Some other news for the Bengals. They released Giovanni Bernard, who has since signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So if the Bengals aren't in, I hope Giovanni Bernard is probably one of the best, best like character guys on the Bengals for a while. So I really appreciate watching him play. He was always a stud. Sometimes I thought he was better than Joe Mixon or even Jeremy Hill. Seems like you just put him in and put the ball in his hands, and he just made something happen. So that was a lot of fun watching Giovanni Bernard play. Wish him the best in Tampa. Casey, if you're watching, enjoy. Treat my boy Gio well. All right. So the last thing I wanted to talk about before we wrap it up for the night. Been getting a lot more chatter about Justin Fields going 3. And it's just funny because we had talked about it last week on the show. We had kind of debated, like, what are we going to do? Should we keep it accurate? A lot of the reports are saying that, San Fran's going to take Mac Jones out of Alabama. They're going to take him 3rd overall. Should we keep the mock draft accurate? A couple of people chimed in that, no, take Justin Fields. That's what I would do. That's what I would do if I say it goes Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, and I'm San Fran sitting at 3. I'm taking Justin Fields, right? So a lot of people, or a couple of people had chimed in, and now, funny enough, what are we hearing? Is that the 49ers really like Justin Fields? Go figure. So what does this mean for Mac Jones? My conspiracy theory is starting to sound a little bit more plausible now, guys. That's all I'm saying. I dropped a conspiracy theory last week that the Patriots came in and told Mac Jones to suck on his pro day, and that way he would drop down to the Patriots, and they would draft him. Mac Jones will be a New England Patriot next season. Heard it here first. Online again. Maybe not. Probably not. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys tonight. I really appreciate everybody stopping by. It's been fun. If you could, like the video, share the video. Make sure you follow Line to Gain on Facebook.com/LTGpod. And that's it, man. I'll be seeing you guys next week. Next week we'll be 4 days away from the draft. We will be having a draft show. So if you're just chilling around at home watching the draft, join us. Appreciate you. Have a good night. Have a good week.